Without optimistic characters, cartoons would feel way more pessimistic and dark. Even when shows explore serious themes like conflict or struggle, hopeful characters balance the tone and make the experience more enjoyable. That's why optimistic characters matter. And here are 10 standout ones worth talking about. Darwin. Darwin from the amazing world of Gumball has to deal with Gumball's pessimistic aura every day. Gumball is canonically known as someone who sees the bad in everything, but Darwin is the complete opposite. As a fish that grew arms and legs just from the sheer power of love, there was no doubt that Darwin would be an optimistic character. The love Darwin has for both his friends and family, paired with the antithesis of that, Gumball, is what really makes the show one of the best cartoons to air on Cartoon Network in recent years. SpongeBob. SpongeBob from SpongeBob SquarePants is known for his optimistic nature. He is a creature that loves his friends wholeheartedly and even loves his job to a fault. SpongeBob is most optimistic about the fact that life in Bikini Bottom can be perfect. While SpongeBob doesn't have the best job or best friendships, he still has loads of hope that everything will turn out right. Because of this attitude, things usually do turn out all right for him, compared to that of the pessimistic entity that is Squidward. Mabel. The Pines twins in Gravity Falls are hugely contrasting figures. Where Dipper is skittish and lacking confidence, Mabel has loads of optimism for them both. In fact, it's Mabel who often helps Dipper recognize his own self-worth, making their bond strong despite their differences. One of the most memorable moments in Gravity Falls was Mabel's complete trust in Grunkle Stan when she decides not to stop the interdimensional portal from opening. This act alone was born out of her optimism and belief that there is not only an explanation for why people do things, but also good in the people she trusts. Pops. While Pops from regular show can mostly be described as naive, there is a certain amount of optimism he has in him. In the wacky adventures that take place in regular show, Pops always has hope for the show's protagonists, Mordecai and Rigby. Pops can be clocked as an optimistic person right off the bat. He constantly laughs and throughout the series shows how he sees the beauty in everything. The success of Pops' friends is sometimes due to his belief in them and overall helpful demeanor. Aang. Despite being in the midst of a 100-year war, Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender still found optimism in his heart. Aang's hopeful nature was born from his life as an air nomad, being untethered and ultimately a free soul. Aang's support from his friends Katara and Sokka also helps him be his most optimistic self. Their belief in Aang and his belief in them make a wonderful friendship, and this same friendship helped them win their battles. Aang's optimistic spirit led him to spare the Fire Lord from death, opting to only take his bending. Bo. A lot of the characters from She-Ra and the Princesses of Power are optimistic at heart, especially since a big part of the show is the power of friendship defeating the Horde. However, Bo is one of the most optimistic characters in the whole show. Bo is often the grounding force of the best friend squad. Where Glimmer and Adora fall down rabbit holes, he is someone with the voice of reason and someone with trust in both himself and his friends. Not only that, but his belief that there's good in everyone led him to offer an olive branch to Adora, which leads to the victory against the Horde. Steven. Barely anything can knock the smile off of Steven Universes. In the series Steven Universe, the main character, Steven, is shown to be a charismatic and optimistic type of guy. In short, Steven's cheerful attitude is hard to knock down. When faced with struggles, Steven is known to be the shining star in the night. Steven's friendships with Pearl, Amethyst, and Garnet show just how impactful his optimistic attitude is, as a ton of trust and love surrounds the four. Star. The main character of Star Butterfly in Star vs. the Forces of Evil is without a doubt an optimistic person. While this trait might be partially born from her adolescent naivety, even as she matures, she sees hope where others might not. Examples of this include her going back to her ex-boyfriend Tom, or her ability to empathize with the monsters of Muni in general. Not only that, but Star's overall curiosity, optimism, and even naivety led her to look deeper into the politics of Muni and find injustice there. Grizz. Even though he is an iconic robot, Grizz from Invader Zim is incredibly optimistic. His optimistic view of life makes him whimsical and energetic, and overall an endearing character to watch. He also brings a lot of nonsensical humor to the series. While Grizz's optimism usually foils Zim's plans of taking over the world, Grizz doesn't let Zim's bad mood get to him often. Also, Grizz embraces the free-flowing life of a human rather than adhering to what a robot is, or even conforming to Zim's world-conquering ideologies. Grizz. The three bear brothers from We Bare Bears all exhibit different personalities. Ice Bear isn't expressive with his emotions, while Panda Bear is the more nervous character. But Grizz is the most optimistic of the three. Grizz's optimism encourages his brothers to do things that they have never done before. While his drive to take charge also comes from him being the eldest, his positive and confident attitude is what really makes him the leader. Even when the brothers find themselves in complicated situations, Grizz almost always is the person to get the other two out of their funk.
And that wraps up our list of optimistic cartoon characters. Their positivity doesn't just brighten the story, it makes the darker moments hit even harder. Which one is your favorite? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more fun breakdowns.